Hey y'all, it's your girl Shy. Y'all know what today is. You are watching Candid Conversations with your girl Shy. And today we have a special guest. We're going to be talking about mental health awareness. So this is where you want to, every conversation you want to let people know, but you want to tell people about it so they can get on. While we are on, you can definitely post comments. We'll answer in real time. But mental health. We're going to talk about it. So I have a special guest, and we're going to get into it today. And my special guest today is Charnay Ellesse. So I'm going to bring her on. There she is.
Hey everybody, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I was looking at the comments here, but so today we're going to be talking about mental health. But before we do that, y'all know how we do on Candid Conversations. We're going to talk about something new that we've tried over the past week or so, as well as a current topic, current event, what's going on in the world. So, since you're a guest, I'm gonna let you go first.
Hmm. All right, mine is what I've been trying lately is not explaining my nose, meaning like I can't go, and I just leave it at that. I'm not
That's
explaining why
good.
I'm not going or how I'm not going, or I'm not going. That's what and I've been so uncomfortable doing it because I feel like, oh, I need to explain myself, and I do not need to explain myself. So I've been getting more comfortable with saying I can't do it.
That's good because it's power in the know. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank y'all for joining us. Yes, that is actually good. So I hope y'all heard what she's been trying this week. I don't really know what I tried this week.
I've been deleting a lot of text messages. I'm like, oh, no, let me just keep it as a no.
This week, I can't pinpoint something new that I tried, but I'm still trying to keep my peace as other people drive, which is really huge. And actually, I can mention something I'm going to try. Now, we know with anything, you have to shift your mindset first, right? So
Right.
I've been wanting to, do better, get healthier, things like that. So part of the prayer has been, Lord, change my appetite. And I'm going to tell y'all for about a week, I have been wanting some fried cauliflower. Okay. Ain't never taste cauliflower, ain't never craved it. But your girl will get in the kitchen and make some fried cauliflower. So that is something that I am going to try.
Where did the fried cauliflower come in? Like, did you see it somewhere, or
Well,
were you?
because it's a lot of restaurants have it on their menu,
Yeah,
but I'm just like, it's cauliflower. It looked like it ain't got no taste.
it's good. Cauliflower is so good. That and
So
broccoli. Ugh.
I'm gonna try it. And when we gonna go from there.
Do the buffalo cauliflower.
So we gonna see. I may do that live so y'all can see all the extraness I be going through. But current events. Current events. Do you have a current event you want to talk about?
We was talking about the Met Gala, just the legality of it, and I was saying my best friend said it used to be 30K for a ticket, and now this year it was 50K, and I was like, you know why they did that? She was like, why? I was all like, to keep people that they don't want from buying tickets. It became too easy for people to get a 30K ticket, so they raised up to 50K. But I was like,
Yeah.
hmm.
I
Would you
it's
pay 50K for a ticket?
no. And that's even if I had it like that. Like
Mm.
I don't see that part of me going nowhere.
You might
Now,
confused with
I
that.
look, I may try to. ask a friend, ask a friend, ask a friend to get in. Can I be a plus one? But that is not an investment I see myself making. So no, ma'am. It's like an extra time. Like if you ever wanted to play dress up or just go big, do stuff that you can't do on the regular, or they'll drag you in the media. Like that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it was it was one of them. I think it was when Lady Gaga wore the meat. I feel like that was to the Met Gala. It might
I
have been
think it
somewhere
was.
else, but it might. You get to play around with your inner child there. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So I guess
Yeah.
I will not intentionally find out, but but if it is for a good cause, I'm for it. If it's for a good cause, um, it's so much that happened in the world when we talk about current events. We
It's a lot.
it's it's so the stuff going on in the schools, like randomly last night at a junior high, like 3 kids overdose,
Oh,
police,
that's a big topic.
ambulance, and I'm like, what is going on? But we have to life is going life. Things are gonna happen, and just do your best to protect yourself, not live in fear, and show up the best way you know how, because it's real in these streets.
It is real in these streets, especially for middle school to overdose. I took a couple of classes in drug and alcohol counseling,
Uh-huh.
and of course, we know fentanyl is a rise in particular communities too, but just drugs in general. We just came out of an epidemic. People were trying things within the epidemics too, and it's people don't know how easy it is to get hooked on things or coping mechanisms that we adopt, thinking it's not going to happen to me, or and
Yep.
then next thing you know, you can't stop this addiction because it rewires your brain in so many different unique ways that we're not thinking about on the surface level.
Right. Definitely. So that's going to segue us into our topic today, which is mental health awareness. So I am going to give Charnay Ellesse the opportunity to fully introduce herself, as well as share why today's topic is important to her.
Yes. I always feel so nervous, like, oh, share something about myself. What is it? So I'm Charnay Ellesse. I am the founder of Sincerely Healing Soul, which is a organization that allows me to connect with people on mental health, on different avenues, different facets, whether it is emotional, financial, social, spiritual. So I use my creativity to introduce a new way of healing and growing and taking everything that we have and moving forward with it. I've been advocating for mental health for almost 10 years now. It's been a personal journey of mine. And then also, I've been enjoying just the journey of learning who I am. And once I learn something, I want to share it. So I am all about giving and learning and expressing and just being a real authentic person and
Mhm.
not apologizing for it. So when you see my name, Charnay Ellesse, I'm associated with the art of a Pisces, mostly in Vegas right now, but in California as well. And that's one of my art forms where I just kind of get really like open with feminists and another avenue of mental. So everything that I do has some type of mental health background to it. I have degrees in psychology, professional health, humanities and arts, certified meditation coach, certified chocolate therapeutics. I'm just certified in a couple of little things here and there, and it's all connected to everything that we do. Psychology is in everything. What we're doing right now in psychology. How we communicate, and it's just a pleasure for me to just enjoy it and experience it and learn new things and combine what I know with my experiences and bring it creativity to it and then share it and give it out to the world.
Yes. So all of that. Okay.
Order that.
All of that. Y'all know me. I'll tell you in a minute. Don't brag on yourself. Talk about, what you're versed in, your expertise, certified in. We work hard for this stuff. We go through the process of getting it, obtaining it. So definitely why she is here today with her history, with mental health and all the different things she's done for it. I remember, I can't recall if you still do it, but I know you did went out and gave hugs to people. Somebody, just needed a hug. And as humans, like, we need that connection, and not everybody is blessed to have family or support. Some people are, had to disconnect. Some people never had it. So she really is big on doing the work, but even more so educating herself about what's to be done. So I have a list of questions here, and I'm just trying to see where I want to start at. I'll give her a moment to get back on. But as y'all know, with mental health, it's a lot of things that come with that. The world is getting better with talking about it, where you don't have to feel ashamed or like something is wrong with you. I always say the opposite. If you walking around here and you ain't nothing, you ain't experienced nothing, you ain't never been sad, you ain't never been depressed, you ain't never been on edge, then I'm a inquire, like, what's going on. So with that being said, mental health awareness is very, very important for us to be aware of for ourselves and others. I used to find myself in depression, like and then I realized, this is a trend. Every year, this time, I'm thinking this way, I'm feeling this way. And so once I was able to identify it, I was able to do the work and to change that. So why is it, my question to you, Charnay, is why is it important for us to be aware or familiar with mental health awareness? And even when I say mental health awareness, I'm saying even from the mindset, from our mindsets, how we respond or react to things, even down to, people we're connected to, even our kids. So just give some insight on why it's important for us to be aware, familiar with mental health.
Yeah, it's extremely important to be aware of mental health, just because it allows you to know why or how come you do the things that you do. It could be deep rooted in your childhood, and you're passing on learned behaviors to your children or to the people that you connect with, whether you love them or you just work with them in a different work environment. So taking care of your mental health allows you to be clear-minded and understanding, okay, I might have difficulties with spelling. I need help in this area. Asking for help in areas too is a form of mental health. Taking care of your mental health. Hey, can you teach me how to do this? Growing up, you might have not learned how to do something, and that's okay. Part of us evolving as humans and growing is our mindset. Just like when we're in cavemen, we learn a stick, rub it together, it makes a fire. Now we're more evolved than that, where it's you yell at someone, they don't like it, they may learn to retreat, they may learn to be more aggressive. Retreating means that they're not communicating their feelings, and it could evolve into a mental illness. So we talk about mental health, and then we talk about mental illness. They're two different, correlated together, but taking care of your mental health leads to good health. So you want to have these more deeper rooted to where you want to seek professional help. You should seek help or self-help as well, so that you can get back to a good, healthy mental health. A lot of people associate mental illnesses with mental health instead of understanding, hey, going to sleep on time, that's taking care of your mental health. You being able to get out of the bed and take a shower, that's how you take care of your mental health too, because these are
Yeah.
signs that something might be up. You might be sad about something, might be ramping up about something, and it's great to know, hey, I don't know why I'm angry right now. Let me find out.
Right. I'm glad you touched on the mental health and mental illness. Because there is a difference, and if you take care of this, you may not need that, or may not need it as much, or whatever the case is. I'm a strong believer in therapy. If therapy is the route, and there's different types of therapy, um, mentors, life coaches, like whatever is needed and necessary. And right now I'm part of a community where it's healing on a huge level, healing through music, yoga, mindfulness, healing, spiritually, just so many different ways, because our bodies hold trauma, and traumas that we done forgot about, we're not aware of, whatever it may be. And so you may begin to do a thing and your body starts responding in a way, because it's like, you need this. I have to say, I remember waking up one morning and I was just emotional. And I'm like, what, girl, you just woke up, like literally just fresh out my sleep. And then so I go in the bathroom, I look at myself in the mirror, and I just feel all these emotions. And I just sat there and gave into it. And I cried, like I wept. And I'm like, clearly, I'm walking around here, with stuff that I'm not aware of, or because I'm used to the feeling and all of those things. So when you have those moments, like lean into that.
Yes.
You know, uh, it's when we don't take care of ourselves. Um, and then we're living life in a certain way, you can actually push yourself into the mental illness
Yes.
that could have never been your portion, but because we're not taking care of ourselves, you end up there. So I'm really, really glad that you touched on that and explain the difference.
It's
um
like say for instance you got cut and you're bleeding. You're not gonna just look at it. You're gonna go get the Band-Aid. You're gonna clean it up. And if you don't clean it up, it could get infected. The infection, you can get your your hand chopped off. Like that because you physically can see it. So
right.
okay, it's an urgency there because we see it. With mental health, it's more so it creeps up on you. It's a little by little until you then it's a bigger problem instead of understanding, oh, when I didn't say no, that was hurting me in the inside. Oh,
Hmm.
okay, now I'm blowing up and I'm mad. It's the same concept of putting that Band-Aid or taking care of the inside of you, just like you take care of the outside of you.
Yes, yes. um Let me segue back into these questions, but if you can share, because us people, we like tangible, we want to know, what was a moment that you became aware, like, okay, this is a problem. I need to clean it up.
Yeah.
Not just look at it or don't even bother cleaning it up, but just slap a band-aid on there. If you could share, a moment or something, uh, uh, as far as that in your personal life.
Yes. Okay. I've always been an emotional person. Just growing up, I've been always the emotional person in my family. And then I learned how to suppress my emotions to where it's like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. Um, and something in the back of me kept thumping, 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 and I kept ignoring it. And I used to work at a particular high-end retail store, and I used to go there every day. And I used to stop before I clocked in, and I used to have this like pounding heat, almost like a flight or flight. And at that time, I didn't understand that was a panic attack. But I used to go in every day, and I used to calm myself down, and I'm like, you know what, I'm here. I'm trying to make money for such and such. And after I clocked out, I would drive on the 405, and it was this ramp. And it was I would have my alone time with myself. But in the back of my mind, something was saying, hey, keep going straight. Don't do this. Those like trying to harm myself. And I got to the breaking point to which I'm like, this is not okay. This is not healthy. Me having these thoughts of harm myself. And that's when kind of like a particular part of my personality kicked in, survival. And it was like, we need to seek some help, whether it is therapy, whether it is the self-help book. I found myself crying on the ground. I locked myself in the bathroom, and I was just too overwhelmed with the battle that I was having within myself of living and not living, living and not living, living and not living. And it was too much cognitive dissonance. That's what it's called. But it was too much of me pulling apart from myself. And I just got tired. Like the old people say, like, I'm getting tired, baby. I'm tired. It was at that point where I just gave up in a sense of, I don't want to continue living like this. I don't want to keep having these internal battles with myself. And after I had that long cry, I made an appointment to see a therapist. I started ordering books, and I started really educating myself on what I was experiencing, and not having to feel like I was crazy or something wasn't right about me. I started really like saying, okay, something in me that's hurting. Let me go search and seek what it is, because I know I want to be happy.
Yes. See that right there? Like, I just put it in the chat, like, I'm here for the transparency.
Yeah.
Because, it's not something you have to, you're not the only one. Whoever this is for, you're not the only one. And there's people willing to help. As humans, we put so much on ourselves. But if you just listened to her story, her experience, you too can do the same thing. And if you need help doing the same thing, if there's somebody that you trust and you just need that support, because I understand some people, need that, then get that. But if you don't have that, you have you, and you are enough. So these conversations are beyond necessary for us to have, especially, just in general with everyone. But the reason I say especially with women, because of all the hats that we wear. And before we even get out to deal with society, we just talking about behind closed doors, and then if you throw motherhood in there and just all of the things, you are expected after you drop a baby to have it snatched and just back ready, dipping and doing it. We're just all these expectancies. And then when we have experiences, like I had a whole kid and I was depressed. Who, all these other people that had kids, did nobody mention that to me? Mm-hmm. There was not even a doctor that said, okay, once you have this kid, you may experience something called postpartum depression. Like, nobody tells you this stuff. And if somebody has, y'all better be thankful. Mm-hmm. Because you just look up and you find yourself in a place and in a situation, and you're like, how do I even get out of this?
Yeah.
So we have to.
We have to talk. If we don't talk about it, everyone will just think they're having an isolated experience instead of accepting, hey, I am going through something. Especially that's a huge life change. I've experienced postpartum depression, and postpartum depression can lead to a lot of a lot of unfortunate events that can happen. So if we didn't talk about it, then we would never know, okay, it's
Yeah.
okay for me to feel this way. I got tools. Let me go ask somebody. Let me tell somebody about it, not like just hold it as a secret and feel guilty
Right.
about it. And that's like harvested in your body as well. Gotta
Yeah.
release it.
So right there, I just encourage you to get the help, support, guidance, direction, get what you need. Um, if you have insurance, most insurances come with that.
Mm-hmm.
I know benefits like the back of my hand because I used to work with a huge medical provider, but you can call, or even if you have access to look online, look at your mental health benefits,
Yes.
um, and see what that is, figure it out. If you need to be seen more than they can offer, because most of them you're only going to get in once a month. And that was then when it was really bad. So you may be at every about 6 weeks to maybe 2 months. They
Mm-hmm.
partner with third parties where you can get in on a weekly basis. Um, if you don't have that in your benefit, this is where I'm gonna say this is where we have to start investing in ourselves. If you have the ability to eat out 3 4 5 days a week, if you have the ability to on a regular basis do your favorite thing, whatever that is, then that's the same money that you use to go get the help and support that you need.
And a
Period.
lot of people think they're going to need it for a lifetime or it's going to be like a continuous thing. Sometimes you might need just only 3 sessions to get out what you need in a sense of talking about it. And then you
Hmm.
might end up doing something else, as far as yoga or a life coach, or different vessels when it comes to like mental health. A lot of people just think, oh, I need to go see a therapist. But
Right.
unless you have the money every week for it, you might have to find other options and other tools as well to have in your tool belt.
Yes. That too. And it's a lot of things you can do for free. Um, if you're, a lot of things you can do for free if you're connected with community centers. Like y'all know how like when we want something, when we looking for a good sale, when that's the same way we have to be about our mental health. Because making sure this is fit, right, tight, you
Mhm.
know, in here, you're not even able to fully enjoy it the way that you want to.
Yes.
So
I understand.
um you kind of talked about it like, you may only need a few sessions, but if you can't afford it, there's other things that you can do. Um, somebody may still not be familiar with mental health and why it's important. So we don't want to just assume that everybody does. But what are some benefits? We both kind of talked about it, but what are just some clear benefits of taking care of your mental health?
Yeah.
And even if you could talk on even if you do have a mental illness, how
Mhm.
important it is to make sure that that's taken care of.
Yeah. So, say for instance, you're diagnosed. Keep in mind, I am not a licensed therapist to talk deeply about it. However, say for instance, if you do have a bipolar disorder, it's good to know your triggers. It's also if you take medication for it, it's great to stay on your medication. Say for instance, you decide to just completely stop your medication. That's not advised because there's a process in which
Mhm.
helps to even out the balance, the chemicals in your brain. You know,
Mhm.
knowing how to run or knowing when or having people you can call to talk to. Hey, I'm feeling overly whelmed today. I just need someone to talk to. A friend of mine that I know has someone because I'm in Nevada, they're licensed to carry guns. They're like, I need someone to hold these for the month. I can't, I don't trust myself with it. Having someone holding yourself
Mhm.
accountable as well. If
Yes.
you already know your mental illness, and then understanding it's okay to understand that, okay, this is who I am, or this is what I have. It's not who I am. just because you have a mental illness does not mean you are the mental illness. You're just aware of how your brain or how you function, and it's amazing to be a step of it. You own it. Hey,
Yeah.
I might not go to this event. I feel this way today. You're able to have that ownership of you, and the comfortability, and having the support, whether it is with family or friends or your professional help as well, to understand that you're not alone. There's other people
Yeah.
that may suffer with you, and that you can have a life still and continue going.
Most definitely. And for those of you that just tuned in, if you haven't picked up on it, we are talking about mental health awareness and, just some other things surrounding that with our guest here, Charnay Ellesse. If you have questions or comments, please put them there in the chat so we can see them, answer them, get to them, whatever it may be. And I am going to propose a question. We're giving a lot of good information and experiences. Please share in the chat, if it's relatable or helpful, even, maybe something, it don't have to be everything, but just, how it may have impacted you personally. But I do like what you just said, having someone that is able to hold you accountable, and here's the thing, and don't, we, okay, let me figure out how I want to say this. Everybody that is going to help you is not someone that you're familiar with. Now, I've been saying that a lot, right? Um, and and sometimes we don't know what we need, but God would send who we need for what we need.
Absolutely.
So if you find yourself in a comfortable space with someone, being able to share stuff that you've been holding on to, and it's just you're able to have these conversations. Lean into that. Because it's a source. And again, it's not gonna always be someone familiar, someone in your network. A lot of people that help me, I'm like, oh, that was never a thought. Like where'd that come from? So lean into that, please, because at the end of the day, it's just for the overall vision of us um, being able to thrive, and having our mental health in intact is part of us thriving, and not just existing and saying, well, this is how I've always been, or this is just part of my family generation. No, change is possible. Okay, it may not be easy, but don't mean that it's not possible. Um, what are some things, we we kind of talked about it, but now you'll be able to put in a black and white light. What are some things that can happen if we continue to not acknowledge, the emotions, the feelings, the trauma, like these things that are coming up?
Yeah.
So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, so just like we was talking about with that Band-Aid, the difference between mental health and mental illness, we can segue into depression, talk about that in a correlation. Um, Depression usually lasts if people, we get sad,
Mhm.
we get moody. Those are normal emotions to have, moods to feel. Um, if it goes on for more than 2 weeks, then that's an illness. So, say for instance, you are in a bad mood and you're not doing anything to uplift it. Say for instance, acknowledging your feelings, you keep suppressing them. Oh, I'm fine, everything's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. Then your brain is going to start finding other solutions to show you we're not fine.
Right.
That can be over being overly sexual, finding just people to have sex with. It can be overly eating. It can be under eating.
Mhm.
Your body is always subconsciously giving you information, and then you're just don't know why you're doing them, but you have these impulses in there. So not allowing
Mhm.
yourself to express these emotions and identify them, you're not able to be in full control of your thought processes. Instead of you choosing a mate because you love them, or you share the interest, you're choosing them because you're looking for something to validate or to cover up or cope with emotions that you're not able to deal with. And then that can also segue into STDs. It can segue into unwanted pregnancies. It can segue
Mhm.
into abortions. It's all these segues
Mhm.
for it. Of course, there's an umbrella of reasons why we do everything that we do, but that is a high rate of why we're not being present with ourselves. We're not respecting ourselves. We're trying to
Mhm.
fill a void instead of just saying, you know what, I'm really depressed. I mean, I'm really sad right now because you didn't tell me hi today, or you didn't acknowledge that I did good. And then understanding, okay, it's not their job to tell me. I have to feel it from within myself. However, it'll be nice if someone acknowledged me as well.
That. Because a lot of people don't think of that. Like, I'm responding this way, and it has something to do with, like, not connecting the
Yes.
two. You know, um, not being able to identify, like, well, why do I act like this or treat every guy like this or every woman? Not that's daddy issues. That's, or that has something to do with, when I was abused, or so being able to, it's so important for us to be able to connect the dots.
Yes.
And so I often say, um, sometimes we do need to go visit our past, not to stay there, but
Mm-hmm.
for us to, because we didn't push that stuff to the back of our head, we didn't forgot or whatever, but we're showing up with the stuff. So sometimes we have to take a visit back down memory lane. We got to go back and remember that, so that we're like, you know, my 8-year-old self, 15-year-old self, 26-year-old self, 38-year-old self, 52-year-old self. We have to go back there to be able to connect those dots that are so necessary for us to stop making the choices and decisions that just continue to hurt us. So hmm, it's unlocking. It's something that helps unlock our happiness,
Yes.
because now we're dealing with it and we're able to connect the dots. So it's like, oh, so now I didn't connected the dots. I can get some relief in that, which is going to make me feel better. In like, oh, there is purpose in this. I do see light at the end of the tunnel. So all of those are really good. Because let me, since we've been candid, now everybody wasn't. I'm not about to speak proper English right now, but everybody wasn't not the hoe. Some of us was the hoe. Okay, some of us was
Okay.
out here dipping in and doing it with whoever for whatever reason, and was not feeling good about it, but could not, don't know, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why do I'm trying to be accepted? Why do I feel like this is what I need to do to be accepted? I want love. So just like you said, being able to um, identify those things, because when you don't, those poor habits, and oftentimes we don't even, we're so used to just moving through life, we don't even acknowledge that that's what we're doing. So
We're at a good point in our time too, where everyone's talking about being aware, self awareness, self care too, and a lot of people misinterpret it as, just taking a bubble bath, or just,
mhm,
going this, getting your nails done, which is part of it as well. That's the fun part of it. But it's actually doing that work you was talking about, of catching your 8-year-old self, because it never goes away. You just learn how to manage those parts of you,
mhm,
and understand, okay, this is where I need more love at. Hey, I'm a little sensitive in this area because X, Y, and Z. I know how to, control my triggers now, but they're still there. They're still going to be managed. And it's
mhm,
like, that self-awareness is able, that's able for you to understand where it's coming from and being aware of it, so that you won't give it away to other people or won't bleed on other people.
mhm. And we're gonna talk about the infamous word starts with the B, ends with the S. Boundaries. Because
Boundaries.
once you start doing like what you just said, now you want to protect it. Like, no, I did the work. I've identified this. I've learned this. So in order for you now to have, to engage with me, to be, in my group, this is how I need you to interact with me. And it's okay if you don't, but I won't be able to do X, Y, and Z. So boundaries ain't never going nowhere. So if y'all tired of hearing people say, everybody talking about boundaries, because everybody need boundaries. There's healthy boundaries. Sometimes we need boundaries for ourselves. Hey, no, tell them no, tell them no. Like, we need boundaries for ourselves and not just for other people. Just like, talking about the other word, why do we have rules? Well, rules are to inform us, to keep us safe, to make us aware of what, we may be about to experience. It's just all of the things. So why would you not want to protect? You just got a peace of mind. And you mean to tell me you're not going to protect it? You still going to put other people in the craziness? It's still, that mean, okay, when it happened again, don't be mad when somebody say, didn't I just have this conversation with you? But what I don't want you to do is stop. I'd rather you keep trying, because to me, like, each time is going to get better as long as you're learning what you're doing. It may not happen immediately. We know it feels uncomfortable. Somebody, you've been telling this person yes for the last 15 years. We know trying to say no is going to be like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, should I not? But the more that you do and you try, it gets better, because you want to protect what's important, which is we're factors. We're important.
Yep. That's so interesting too, because you were saying to protect it. Like, once you get to a state in which you know what peace is for you and what chaos is, our mind gets so stuck with repeating certain things, like, because we like repetition, just like when we're babies. We like repetition. We want to know what it is, what it's not. Like, we don't stay away from that. We like to know what the next step is, to a certain extent. So doing something for years and then going and doing something else, your brain has to catch up with it. Your behavioral has to catch up with too. Okay, no, this is good. It's like you're parenting yourself. Okay, I like this. This feels better than that. And then you understand, okay, no, this is why I'm saying this. And then it starts getting more comfortable, and you just start feeling yourself, and you start glowing, and people be like, what's wrong with you? I'll be like, nothing. It's good to just do something that is entirely good for your soul.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's where we give ourselves that grace. Like, oh, I did no. You're unlearning something. Some things we learn quick, but some stuff you gotta unlearn it. You gotta go through that process. You gotta still learn a few more lessons on the way, but just keep going. Just keep going. And if you have just tuned in, or you have been watching but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, as well as share this video. Now, I'm gonna say share all the videos, but this one, I know, like, mental health is so. And here's the crazy thing. There's so much craziness going on in this world nowadays. You could be a cat, you could be a dog, you could do so many things, but we still are not in a place where I would have thought that talking about mental health, just making that being a norm, that we would have been further along, because of all the foolishness and the shenanigans and all the other stuff that society has made a norm and okay. That this too is okay. This too is necessary. And it's, I want to challenge us to go beyond. Now, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I want to challenge us to go beyond getting the pedicures, getting our nails done, getting all of that feels great. But I want to challenge us to go a little bit deeper. I want to challenge us to sit with ourselves. I want to challenge us to date ourselves. Like, I'm not the same woman I was at 25 and 30 and 35. Let me figure out what I like. You know what I mean? Do a day out and just journey out into the world. Let me pick a place and let me figure out who I am, because some of my frustrations could be that internally I know I changed, but I haven't made that known. And so when those things happen, I'm being triggered and da 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 da, but I haven't actually sat in that. I haven't embraced that. I haven't made it a public change. So it is necessary for us, like you mentioned, in our self-care and those different things, just go a little bit further. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. At Ladies Let's Talk last weekend, 5-year anniversary. Um, I had just met her. She came. She was with one of the ladies that I know. She said, do you do this? Like, if I was to have a party and like bring my friends over, like, would you do this? And she was like, because it's just good for us to talk and, share stories, and somebody may, be able to help and all of that. And I just started laughing because, like,
That's what
maybe
I
going
do.
on 3 years now, that was something that I actually wrote down. And then, but I never said it. I never shared it with nobody. So when she said it, I was like, okay, God, you're funny. Um, but just like even those, we party like, when I only clubbed hard for 2 years. Like I really did. Like for 2 years of my life, I clubbed real hard. But like I used to go all out. You know what I mean? And that's how I celebrated myself. Now the older I got, it's like, that's not me anymore. Like, what do I want to do? I like intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let me call up about 5, 6 women. Let's do a, little birthday dinner, or, whatever it may be. But just like we celebrate and do things, like you pick your narrative.
Yep.
You pick your narrative. So you may think like, well, don't nobody want to do this. So, and it's kind of something I do. I ain't told nobody. So I still have to kind of do this, which I'm really not happy with. No, you bring people into your world. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? If you do your self-care and you journal, if because you had a moment where you're like, I got to take care of this mentally, but don't nobody know that, you could bring people in your world, in your space, and make that the norm. Hey, half of them probably looking for that outlet.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want us to challenge ourselves in the ways of, you know, making sure we're okay mentally, our self-care, and those different things. So in that area, I would like for you um, to share something about that, in the self-care, the things that we can do in reference to help maintain our mental health. And then after that, like anything else that may want us to know or may want to share.
Yes. So I mean, for taking care of your mental health is very personal. It is no black and white to do it. It's no waking up at 5 a.m. and doing X, Y, and Z. You get to discover who you are. And through that process, you understand how you like to do things, what you like to eat, what's good for you. It's about exploring the difference in who you are. So when we're talking about mental health, we're talking about you as a person. Everyone's different. You can't just hop on the internet and look for you. You have to go from within when you're doing your mental health journey. So every story is different. Your story is
Mhm.
uniquely yours. It'll inspire someone else as well. Just keep talking about it and keep learning you. Whether it's a life coach, whether it's a
Mhm.
therapist, whether it's journaling, whether it's running, whether it's meditating, whether it's going to church, there's no socialness to it. It's really what makes you feel good and what continues to inspire you to grow, and so that you are at your best self that you can give away. Of course, you want to take care of your health as far as going to the doctors, whether it's a holistic doctor, your family doctor, whatever
Yeah.
the doctor is for you that works for you. You want to make sure your hygiene, taking a shower, going taking care of you. It really, that's your mental health as well. Whether you are connecting with friends or going somewhere solo, that's you taking care of your mental health.
Mhm.
Whether you are at a job that you don't like and you're transitioning out and you're having a hard time dealing with it, so you need to seek having someone to talk to as you're going through those transitions. That's mental health as well. We go through so many stages in our life, from being born to passing away. There's so different. We're not the same person throughout our life. So that's what I guess that's what I'm here for, is to let you know it's okay to have these different transitions in your life, and to know it's okay to feel excited about something or sad
Yeah.
about something. It's okay
Mhm.
it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be okay. What's not okay is you ignoring who you are, and it's not okay for you to feel anything other than your utmost best version of yourself. So you guys can follow me at the Art of a Pisces. I hold meditation. That's my facet. Sound and movement is my way of understanding how to heal and how to grow. Sometimes we can't talk about the experience that we have, but we can listen to it in a song, or bring up that emotion out of our body, and then we're able to talk about it and experience it.
Yes. So I thank y'all. But first, I want to thank you for coming and sharing. And as y'all see, this is something like we may have to have another conversation about it. But I thank you for sharing. I thank y'all for tuning in. As I said, please share this video. If you watch this video after the fact, um, definitely go ahead. If you have questions, or again, you can see ways to contact Charnay, Ellesse, or myself. And this is another way for us to empower ourselves. Like I said, it can be, uncomfortable or scary, and but it doesn't mean it's impossible, and it doesn't mean that it's not necessary. So you are and I'm sure even those of you that are watching can attest to that and have stories that you can share. But you are looking at two women, you know, that have had their own experiences with mental health, and um, how we went through the process, and just our stories. And so I'm saying that to say, like, you don't have to just look at people like, oh, like, I wish I could have that. Like,
You can.
you can the journey. I would do it all over again. I would do it all over again, and I'll share this and be done.
And some
um
hills. I'll do it again and
yes.
some hills.
And don't be too prideful, too shameful, any of that. I had recently shared with somebody. I remember, maybe it was at Ladies Let's Talk, but that I remember, feel full of anxiety. I got this baby. The relationship, brother man, is not sticking to the plan. Like, what do I do? And I remember going into a therapy appointment, and I'm so broken. I got her in the seat. I barely could put her down before I'm breaking down, and the therapist is talking. I really can't say much. But in all of that, the ugliness, the hurt, the brokenness, the confusion, like all of that, I still had enough strength just to say, I need help, and I'm gonna go get it. And every session looked different. So give yourself some grace. Like Charnay said, our brains need time to, unlearn and learn and take on new things. So give yourself some grace. And just because it may get hard, feel uncomfortable, people may be talking about you, guess what? They're gonna talk. They're gonna talk. So let them talk.
And I'm a hill.
I mean, they gonna talk. So let them talk about your journey, and then when they see the new you, the heal you. So just keep going, and give yourself a whole lot of grace along the way, and connect with women that get you. And again, it may not be people There's so many support groups and things like that. And even in the comments, I put it up. There's apps.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So whatever you need to
It's
go through
there.
this transition, it's there. So thank y'all for tuning in. Great conversations, ladies. Thank y'all for tuning in. And next week, so again, if you haven't subscribed, turn on your notifications. I'll be back here next Tuesday. You will see Charnay Ellesse again. She's gonna guest co-host with me. I have another guest that is going to be Miss Lashante, which is a MFT, marriage family therapist. She's going to be sharing her personal story. So hey, y'all with me in the ground up. But we gonna have these conversations, so they're needed and necessary. And so if you can, if you're like, well, what can I do to help her? Share this video, subscribe to this channel, and tell people about it.
Look, it's communicating.
So any final words before we hop off tonight?
Mental health, take care of it, love it. You are loved and you are able to achieve anything that you want to let this lifetime. Keep going. If you feel like you are not where you need to be, it's okay. Everything that you do, work hard for it and just keep going.
And on that note, we will see y'all next week. Enjoy y'all evening. Take some of this, even if you have to come back and watch it, but take this information and use it, and definitely share it with someone else. So y'all have a great evening, and help your girl out by subscribing and sharing this. Wait, I was trying to do something. Oh, there we go. So make sure that you do that. And on that note, good night.
Night.